We are getting our first title update for College Football 26 in 2 days, so it will be released on July 24th. And like I said, this is the first title update, so the first major update with, all the bug fixes and improvements that hopefully will make this game a little bit better. It kind of sucks these days with how video games are released and they're not really in a finished state, and then they have to come along and patch it along the way to make the game really what it should have been when it released. But that's a different video for a different time, honestly. So here's all the updates that are coming to College Football 26 in 2 days. So first, let's start with gameplay. They are fixing an issue where play art remained visible after snap when using home field advantage. I don't think I've ever seen this myself, but if you did see this or you had this issue, it will be fixed hopefully in 2 days after this title update. They fixed a rare issue, or are going to fix a rare issue, causing a player to freeze in place during hit stick attempts. Also have not seen this one. That would actually be pretty funny, but haven't experienced that myself. They are fixing an issue preventing stunts and twists from activating properly when selecting from the play call menu in online games. Now this one, I don't play a ton of online games myself, but I have seen people complain about this, where the stunts and twists just don't even work. They don't do anything. And so that should be fixed in 2 days with this title update, and your stunts and twists hopefully will be working properly, specifically in online games. Now this next one I have seen, and it's very annoying. So it says they are fixing an issue sometimes preventing a catch animation from playing when clicking on and taking control of a wide receiver during the route. And so there have been times where I switch to my wide receiver and then I just literally can't catch the football, I guess, because there's some sort of bug. When you take control, it won't let you catch the football. So obviously that is not supposed to be in the game. That's a big mistake and is very annoying. So it's good to see that hopefully in this title update that will be addressed. The next two say variety of tuning and animation improvements to physics-based tackling and a variety of game stability improvements. In theory, those are always good things, but they're super vague, so who knows if it'll actually do anything. I would love to see, tackling and the physics make more sense and be more realistic, but I'm sure they do actually make some tunings and what they call improvements, but who knows if it actually will be noticeable or actually affect the game. And then lastly, for gameplay, they are fixing an issue causing blockers on Power O plays to sometimes take their initial movement in the wrong direction. I was kind of bummed to see that that's only for Power O plays, because I feel like I've seen that happen in other plays, but honestly, just the AI blocking in general in this game is pretty busted, and it's been like that for a while in EA football games, but at least they're making a little bit of a fix here for the Power O plays. I'll probably rant more about the blocking later in this video, but now let's go to the Dynasty stuff. There's a few good changes in here. So these first two, specifically the first one, are things they needed to fix, so thankfully they are. It says reduce the chance of rain in Dynasty and Road to Glory games. Thank goodness. It felt like literally like 80% of my games were playing in the rain, and it was just super annoying. Like, I enjoy the weather, I enjoy the rainy games every now and then, but over half my games should not be in the rain. And then the second bullet point says fixed an issue where cold weather and snow could occur in warm weather climates during college football playoff games. I haven't seen this one myself, but somebody actually sent me a picture of it, like just a ton of snow on the field, and they were playing in Florida. So obviously that's incredibly unrealistic. So the weather will be addressed in this first title update, which is, again, something that needed to happen because that was definitely one of the bigger issues in the game that everybody was experiencing. This next one is also a big one. It says fixed an issue where starters who were juniors could decide to transfer due to playing time. Now, it's not unrealistic for juniors or guys that play a lot to transfer, but it's unrealistic for them to transfer due to playing time, because if you're a starter and playing like every game, you shouldn't be transferring due to playing time, and that was an issue. Lots of people were having guys transfer due to playing time even though they were getting to play. So that is addressed and hopefully fixed in 2 days, which is good because obviously the transfer portal is kind of beefed up in College Football 26 compared to College Football 25, which I think is a good thing as long as it's working properly, and that was one of the errors that they had, so that should be fixed in this title update. The next two are fixed an issue where only IBL, which I believe is impact blocking, that column was the only one showing for fullbacks in redshirt players. That's pretty specific, but if you had that issue, it will be addressed and fixed. And then fixed an issue preventing players from entering free practice, which is very annoying, and again, that should be fixed in this title update. Lastly, they fixed an issue where the game could freeze during overtime when playing the moments, and I did see people complaining about this one as well. In fact, I actually think I had this issue, so the game hopefully will no longer freeze in overtime. You can actually play the game. And then these next things were already addressed in the previous update that wasn't considered a title update. But they only took effect on online dynasties, so these will now be pushed over into the offline dynasties as well. So position changes, you can now change a player's position with their current position group without penalty to their skill caps. I saw a lot of people, including myself, having this issue where you would change a position and it would completely just screw up the player and they were basically useless. There was no point of changing them. So that will be fixed, or will be fixed for offline dynasties. Same thing with athletes. The athlete recruits can now set their initial position without impact to their skill group caps. So those are basically all the big changes for Dynasty and gameplay, and those last ones, like I said, were already addressed in the previous update, but this update will now allow it to also affect offline dynasties. There's only one tiny update for Road to Glory. It says fixed an issue where the pre-order bonus would be applied at the start of your second season after redshirting, so that should be fixed if you noticed that in Road to Glory. I haven't even gotten to a second year in Road to Glory yet. Even though high school's in there, Road to Glory still is kind of meh. So anyways, that is fixed in Road to Glory. They made several Ultimate Team changes. Of course, they definitely put some effort and time into that because I'm sure they make a lot of money off it. I'm not going to go into that. Not a huge Ultimate Team player. But if you are interested, definitely go check out the blog and you can see what updates they made to Ultimate Team. And lastly, they made some presentation changes. So I'm just going to read through these bullet points quickly. It says made an adjustment to the first down rousers at Michigan. I'll be completely honest, I don't even know what that exactly means. If you're a Michigan fan and that makes sense to you, definitely let me know. But they fixed it or adjusted it for this title update. They fixed an issue allowing an opposing player to participate in the Gator Chomp on field celebration. I have seen this one where the opposing team runs up to the camera and starts doing the Gator Chomp with the Florida players. Obviously not supposed to be in there. It kind of looks like a taunting thing, but it's normally after Florida did something good. So obviously that doesn't make any sense. That is fixed. They fixed an issue so that Nebraska's throw bone celebration is used only on defense. That's when the player or the fans make an X with their arms. That's only done after a big defensive play, not offensive. So they are fixing that. Fixed an issue where Missouri State and Delaware's bowl and playoff end zones had a generic coloring to the team. Also saw that one. That is fixed. Fixed an issue where the Texas State Cannon touchdown celebration was in the wrong location. That is fixed. And then fixed an issue where camera obstruction would occur during certain scenes. Haven't seen that one either, I don't think, but it's fixed. It's funny these little things they fix like this. I love the attention to detail with their presentation. As someone that's, not a fan of these teams, I live in the South, I'm an Alabama fan, not from Michigan or whatever. These little things I wouldn't notice, but a Michigan fan might notice them. A Nebraska fan might notice them. A Texas State fan might notice them. So I love that they do take the attention and time to actually fix these things. I just wish we also got some of those bigger fixes in the game as well. So that is it for this title update. Again, it comes out in 2 days, July 24th. So obviously glad that we're getting a title update, and some of these things definitely needed to be changed. But I'll be honest, I'm a little overwhelmed with this update. I feel like there was, some big issues that really haven't been addressed. I think primarily the blocking, pass protection, the AI blocking, I would love to see adjusted or addressed. But I've kind of just come to the conclusion that that's EA football games. Maybe they need a new engine. Maybe they just need a complete overhaul. I don't know. Obviously, it's been an issue, I think, a long time in Madden, but I didn't play Madden for so long. I just kind of assumed that it would be better in college football. But still, when it comes to the gameplay, the blocking, it's just, I don't know if it's coded poorly. I don't know what goes into making a video game, but dudes will just run up, not block the guy, and then run to a different guy to block. And it's what are we doing, bro? And so you've probably heard me say this on stream, I'm kind of in favor of the CFB 26 equipment movement or whatever. I think it's cool. Definitely hold EA accountable. We should get more equipment in the game. But at the same time, to me, that's kind of a minor thing. It's dude, let's go and hold them accountable for the blocking that sucked in the game ever since, 11 years ago when we played NCAA 14. I mean, we get a game that's released, and one of the biggest bugs on release is that you can't snap the football. That's like literally one of the most basic components of a football game, and you can't snap the football. And I don't want to be too harsh because, again, I have no idea what goes into making these video games. Like, maybe there was literally no way of knowing that was going to happen until the game actually released, and then they're like, oh, wow, this caused this, and this caused this, and now we can't snap the football. Like, again, it might be like that, but still, it just seems like that is such a basic component of a football game, and we couldn't even do it on launch. Anyways, it probably sounds like I'm really complaining about this game. I guess I am. I'm enjoying College Football 26. Been super busy with life, as a lot of y'all know, but first big title update in 2 days, and then hopefully we'll get some more title updates with even bigger fixes. I'll have my first review out at some point. I was waiting for the first title update, and this is it. I guess now's the time for me to get my review out, so I'll start working on that. Thank you for watching. Definitely subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and follow me on all socials at TubbyCFB.